we are back. So in this part, I'm going to show you how to draw this Ferris wheel vector image part by part. There are going to be 3 parts. The first one is the gondola, where later on we are just going to simply duplicate this to make 6 different colors. Then the wheel part here, and then the last one is the tower part. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to create a new document. I'll just maintain the same measurement, 20 cm by 20 cm, orientation as portrait, click OK. Alright, so now the first thing that I want to do is enable my ruler. Okay, I'm going to disable all these snap options. I'm going to enable let my smart guide on. It's okay. Then the first thing I want to do is the gondola. So here there are many ways of doing this. I'm going to show you 2 methods of doing this. Okay, so the first one, either way, we still start with the shape of it is a polygon. So I'm going to pick a polygon tool, single click. Alright, I'm going to make, since I want my gondola width to be 2 centimeters, so I'm going to make the radius as 1 cm. The side is 6. But even if you got the radius wrong, the first go is okay, just create it. Why? Because later on you can change it at the properties here, at the width here. So the width is 2 cm. So let's zoom in a bit. Okay, so I want to make my stroke as 1 point. Let's check out your question. So you want your gondola to be stroke 0.5 points. So we're going to change this to 0.5 point here. So to make the bottom part here, what I can do is I create another, use a pen tool. Okay, remember, if you want to draw a line, as you can see here, okay, this is a good example. As you can see here, the symbol for my cursor turns into a minus symbol. As you can you see that? The cursor, instead of a star, it turns into a minus. So when I click here, it will, instead of start drawing a pen, it will actually delete that anchor point for me. So what I need to do is to make sure that I don't get that minus symbol there. I need to go back to my selection tool. Press V on your keyboard. Okay, to go back. This is shortcut key for selection tool there. Then only you go back to pen tool. Press P for pen tool. So now when you hover on that, oh, still got that. Select somewhere else first. P. Then you okay. Okay, so make sure that you are not selecting that part to avoid getting that minus symbol. So now I got the star, so I can start already. Single click because I just want to draw a straight line. Single click on the next point. Click, click, click. There you go. After you're done, just press V to select the whole thing. So now, since this is a closed path, so you can make a fill there. How to make a fill? Click here. Okay, select your fill. So since I want this to be 255, because I want it to be pure blue RGB, alright, so press enter. There you have it. So I'm done. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. Alright, but if you notice that the Ferris wheel here, the one that we have here, okay, let's zoom it a bit. Okay, so I'm zooming in. As you can see here, even the stroke have a fill. So how do we do that? Alright, so please bear in mind, both methods are acceptable. Okay, you don't have to be that specific. But if you still want to achieve this kind of image, you can do so by, alright, so this is our polygon just now. I'm just going to take it. Alright, so what I need to do is I'm going to, alright, first I want to fill this one. Okay, I'm going to fill this up with blue, or I can keep pure blue here. Alright, once I'm done with that, okay, and there's another trick. If I make a selection and I pick a pen, remember that I have that minus point there. So if I click here, I'm going to delete that anchor. So when I click both, I'm going to be left with this semi-polygon, which is exactly what I want. But I still want that top part there. So before I delete that, what I want to do is I want to create I want to trace out this top part, so I'm going to draw. Okay, so draw that top part, but I'm not going to close it. Alright, escape, I press V. I'm going to take this out. Okay, and no fill. Alright, so now that I have it, what I'm going to do next is I can now safely delete that top part. Okay, then I'm going to bring this back up here. Okay, but still we haven't got that the final image that we want, right? So what we can do is, now here's the trick to give a feel to your stroke. What you can do is go to object. You have to do it one by one. Go to object, expand it. So once you expand it, now you can see that you can have a fill here. So I fill that up with a pure blue color again. But now, if you do that, you cannot see the stroke anymore. Alright, so now you can change the stroke. Okay, give a color to your stroke and change it to, if we make it 0.5, you couldn't see the fill because it's too thick. So make it 0.25. Don't worry about that because this one, the width of your stroke is still 0.5. This one is just the stroke of your stroke. You get it? I hope. But the bottom part, okay, so go to object. Okay, since you cannot expand, so you expand appearance. It will still work the same way. So now you can just make a blue. Your stroke, make it black. Alright. And then your stroke, make it 0.25 as well. So now, there you go, you have it already. So this is the second method to draw your gondola, to make your stroke to have a somewhat to have a feel like that. Okay, so I'm going to delete this. Okay, so this one, I'm going to put it there. Alright, as you can see, this one is properties still 2 cm. So now what we are going to do is we're going to make a duplicate of this. We have 6 different colors, so make sure you press alternate, remember. So now the cursor turns into a duplicate mode. So duplicate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I'm going to change the color accordingly. Okay, change the color accordingly. Collapse that. Bring it here. So now we have blue, and then we want to change this to cyan. So green turn to 255. Press enter. Okay, move on to the next one. We can take this up a bit. Okay, so we want the full green. So 255, make this a 0. Okay, and then the next one, this one magenta. So this one is 255, 0, 255. Should be magenta. Okay, and then take this part. This one should be red. So 255, 0 and 0 here. We got a red. And for yellow, we're going to make this 255, 255 and a 0 here. Okay, alright, there you go. There you have it. Alright, so once done, I'm going to save this. Remember to always save your file. So I'm going to save this as Gondola Tutor. Okay, save it. Right. Okay, so now on to the next part. The next part, oops, I accidentally closed my color, so I'm going to bring it back. Color. Okay, so I'm going to put it there, can change it, put it there. Alright, combine it with swatches. It's okay. Alright, so now I save it. So now I want to create a new layer. The new layer is it's good to work with layers because you do not want to interfere your parts. And as you can see here, I actually want it to be the gondola at the topmost layer, then the wheel the second layer, and the tower the bottommost layer. So it's good to work with layers that way. Alright, so now I'm going to name the layer as gondola here, and this layer as wheel. Alright, so now we are going to start to draw our wheel. As for our wheel, let's check out the measurement. We want it to have, there are 2 circle here, the outer circle diameter of 10 cm, the inner circle the diameter is 9.5 cm. So let's do that. Okay, select your ellipse tool. So remember, since ellipse tool can have a different width and height, so that's why you need to key in them separately. But if you want them to maintain the same proportion, so I can just untick that. So now they will maintain the same proportion, the width and height. Click OK. So now I have my wheel. Remember, the color that I want is, I want it to be a gray color from the metal color swatch. So what I'm going to do is go to my swatches. I'm going to take this out and put it into a different part. So I'm going to put here, combine it with swatches. Alright, so I'm going to do is swatches, going to import the metal theme color. Okay, so I'm going to put my gray, take out my color, gray, click, drag, drop there. So now I have my gray color already with a black stroke. So the stroke that I want, remember what stroke? 1 point thickness. So make sure that your stroke is 1 point thickness, like that. Okay, so now we want to create an inner circle. I can just simply create a duplicate, alternate, drag. Okay, I'm going to make this a different color because I'm going to remove this inner circle later on. So go to properties. Here I want to change this, make sure the proportion. So I'm going to change this to 9.5. Alright. So once I'm done, I'm going to just drag this and place it at the center. So this is where you will appreciate the smart guide, okay? Because it will detect the center and will align it together like that. So nicely center. Now what I want to do is use a pathfinder and just minus the front. There you go. Now I have my circle ready. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is the center here. The center there, let's check out the center. It's going to be of 2 cm diameter. So what I'm going to do is create my ellipse again, single click, make this 2 cm. Alright, okay. Now that I have it, just simply drag and use my smart guide to locate the center. If it interferes with the other object, what you can do is can put them at the side first. Okay. Wait a second. Okay, move them to the side. Make sure that you're working on the right layer. Go back to your wheel. Okay, so now. Okay. Let's interfere with this one. So let's move it there. Okay. So. There you go, center. Alright, so nicely done. So next thing to do is the beam. Okay, so for the beam is 0.5 cm. This one, I'm sorry, because in your question I asked you to do 0.2 cm, but actually if you want to achieve the same look, you need a 0.5 cm. But it's okay, either measurement is acceptable. Alright, so now to achieve this, it's just a simple rectangle. So we can just use a rectangle tool here, single click, make our width as 0.5, and as for our height, remember we do not want it to be longer than our outer circle, but we do not want it to be shorter than our inner circle. So somewhere in between would be like 9.7. Okay, so just create that. Now there you have it. Click, drag, and try to put it at the center. There you go. Don't you love smart guide? Okay, wait a second. It doesn't look exactly at the center lah. Why is that so? Is this not at the center? Let's take this out. Okay. Okay, should be that. Alright, so now Now this looks like the center. Okay, there you go. Nicely done. Alright, so so that's the thing with a smart guide center. It tends to interfere with it tends to get confused with some other objects. So if you want, you have to remove all the other objects away, then only it will align with the right object that you want. Okay, so now that you have it, we want to create a duplicate to create another two beams there. So if you notice here, we have 6 space, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is 360 degree. We want to divide them equally. So what do? Is 360 divided by 6. You will get approximately 60 degree each. So what do is I can create a duplicate first, alternate, 1 duplicate, 2 duplicates. So I can rotate it to 60 degree. Now that I have it, I can move it to the center, right? So there you go. And as for this one as well, rotate it to 60 degree, but since I want it to be at the other way around, I can flip it along horizontal. So now I can just click, drag, and position it at the center. There you go. So now since you want this to be at the topmost, so just right click, arrange, bring to front. Same goes with the outer beam. So arrange, bring to front. There you go. Done with your wheel. So now that you have that, you can actually start to arrange your gondola and beam with your wheel. So I'm going to group this to make it easier for me to move it around. So I'm just going to place it there. Alright, so for the yellow part, I'm going to select it, group it. Okay, I grouped it already. Put it down there first. So we're going to put the blue part first at the bottom here. Alright, and then the magenta at the top. Okay, make sure that it's aligned using the smart guide. Okay, now you can see that your gondola is actually behind of the wheel, which is not exactly what we want, because we forgot to rearrange our gondola, our layer here. So make sure that your gondola layer is at the top. So put it at the top. Click your layer, bring it down. Wait a second. There you go. So I bring my gondola layer at the top and my wheel layer at the bottom. Okay, so now we can start to arrange the rest of it. So the CN should go this way. Okay, it's okay, just put it first. Later on when we have our tower, then we can rearrange it again. So the green part there. Okay, then where are the rest? So the red one should be right here. Okay, and the yellow part, the yellow one is right there. Okay, now that you have it, we want to start to draw our tower already. Okay, so let's do this. To draw our tower, we are going to create a new layer again. So I'm going to name this as tower. Okay, I'm going to put this at the topmost layer first, because it will be easier for me to estimate things. Okay, so for the tower, we need to plan this and see. We can see that this is actually a triangle shape, where the top part is actually a curvy. Okay, so I'm going to draw some guide. I'm going to give some guides first, since we don't really need to follow any measurements. So the bottom part is slightly below the lowest gondola there, and the topmost part is slightly the same level as your gondola there. So I'm going to put it maybe there. Wait a second, my gondola is a bit upward, I think. I have to bring it a bit upward, that part. Okay, where my gondola is actually supposed to be that. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to make my guide Okay, maybe that at that level. All right, so then the neck is going to be somewhat at this level, so I'm going to make a new one for the neck, maybe here. All right, and for the side part, here and there, so I'm going to make it at the radius of your at the outer side of my wheel. Okay, that part. All right, just approximately is okay if you cannot get it exact the same because of the smart guide thingy, right? So if you want to turn off the smart guide, you can do so by clicking here, turn off your smart guide. So now you can freely arrange your guide. Okay, there you go. Alright, so now I can turn back my smart guide on. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to start through, oh, the center. I want to start at the center. Okay, why? Because this one is just a duplicate. So later on, I'm just going to draw the one side, and later on I'm just going to create a mirror image to create a full image, to create a full tower like that. So I'm going to start with a pen tool. There are many ways of doing this, of course, but I think this one is the simplest way of doing it. Okay, so I'm going to use a pen tool, start to draw from this point. Don't forget, you need a color for your stroke, otherwise it's going to be empty. Okay, so click. And then here, why do I pick at this point? Because I want the intersection to be like here. Alright, so instead of just estimate to be there, I want it to be right there. Okay, so later on I'm going to cut this off. Up to you, you can put a stop here if you want to, but for some reason I just still prefer to give a stop there. Alright, so later on I will just cut it off. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm going to create a curvy corner here. Of course, if you want, you can create using a pen tool, like and then make a curvy path here. But I find that it's harder to make it accurate that way, so that's why I make it separate, and then only I draw a pen. But make sure that you do not select your path, otherwise later on you couldn't draw a handle on top of this path. Okay, so now I want to start here and make it a handle. I drag, okay, because I want this to be a curve path. So stop there. So you can see it's curved already, so I'm going to pick at any point, at any intersection point. So make sure that it's on that path. Okay, so just let go. Alright, now that I have it, I can either snip this off by using a scissor, or I can just delete this again and just draw a new one. Up to you. I find this is easier to do. Just draw a new one. Okay, P2, if you want to go to a P pen tool, just press P and you can get a pen tool. Okay, so see that it's selecting it. I do not want that. Okay, there you go. Alright, so Control 0. Okay, escape V. So now there you have it. Now I want to hide my, wait a second, I do not want to hide yet. I can delete my guide already. Do not want to see all these guides anymore. Oh, wait a second, I still need that guide. Sorry. Okay, because we haven't done with the top part yet. Okay, so now let's go, let's proceed to draw the top part, the semicircle, the curved part. So here we want to draw like that. So what do I do is create pen tool, start from here, remember, so draw a path that way. Doesn't matter where, as long as you prepare a handle there and you know that you want to stop it alamak, I want to stop it there, but it's okay. Apparently I still have the intersection. Thank God for the smart guide. So you want it to be on the same level as this guide. Release it. Okay, so press V. Remember, see, I forgot to set my stroke color. Make sure that you have a stroke color. Okay, once you are done, now you can that's the reason why I told you don't worry much about the angle, because you can edit it later on like this. Okay, so you can edit it to your likings. So whether you want it to make it like that, up to you. Okay, so I think this one looks okay already. Okay, like that. I think this one looks okay already. So now all left to do is to cut this path. So how to cut this path? I'm going to delete this guide. So I'm going to select this path, select scissor, at the intersection point, cut it there. So now you see this selected part, I can simply delete that. So now that I have it, now I can hide all my other layer. I can, don't forget to lock them first. Okay. Now why is my wheel is here? Why is my tower is there? I put this in my tower. It's okay, later on we need to change this, bring it back to gondola. It's okay, just leave it there first. I'm not sure how it ended up there. Okay, so you notice this point there, make sure you delete that as well, otherwise it's going to interfere with our work. So next thing to do is I'm going to change this. As you can see here, I'm not creating a body, but instead I just make my path thicker. So I just play with my stroke. Okay, so what do? I just change the stroke to 10 points. So now that I have that, I can just simply right click, transform, reflect, I make a copy. Once I'm done with that, I can just click, drag, and just rearrange it. Make sure that we have the oh, sorry, I forgot something. That's why it looks weird. You have to make sure that you join them first. Okay, make sure that it's a single part. Otherwise, it's going to give you a weird stroke like what I got just now. So now, make it 10 point. So now you have it nicely done like that. Alright, so now we can transform, reflect, copy. So now that you have it, click, drag. Okay, make sure they intersect. There you go, perfectly done. Alright, now that I have it, I can show back the rest of my gondola and also wheel. I want to put this at the bottommost layer and see what happened to our gondola there. I know. So what I can do is select my gondola. Okay, I'm working with my tower here. I'm going to ctrl C this and put it at the gondola. I'm working at gondola now. Gondola layer, so I'm going to paste it here. Let's just delete this gondola. This is the easiest way to do. Alright, so go back to your gondola, select the whichever, create alternate, press alternate, and then just, there you go, change the color. So this one is pure green, so we change it to 255. There you go. Alright. Okay. This is the stroke color. Change it to this one. So this one is 255. This one is 0. This one is 0. Enter. Okay. Wait a second. I'm not selecting this. Okay. Back to here. This one is 255. This one is 0. This one is 0. Okay. Why do I have it here? Alright. Done. So now I can rearrange my gondola. so that it will look somewhat like this. Okay, so I can rearrange it. The red color one, make sure if you do not want to interfere with others, you have to lock your tower. So I'm just going to work with this one. Okay, I'm going to take it up there, and so this one, the cyan, okay, intersect with the red one. Okay, I think that looks good, somewhat good already. And this is the green one, to make sure that it intersect with the red one. I want it to be a bit inwards like that. Okay, that should be good, as maybe a little bit, because we want it. That one. That one looks good. Alright, so this one as well, make sure it intersect with the green. Okay, alright. It's if you don't have to be exactly the same, but approximately it's acceptable. So now we are done with our Ferris wheel drawing. So remember to save this. Okay, save this. Then the next thing left to do is for our animation part. Remember, so for your animation part, you need to save all this part individually. So you have to save all your gondola individually, and also your wheel and tower. Okay, so what we can do that, and later on we will start with our animation. Okay, so let's try to save this individually. Oh, sorry. No, not exactly what I want. So what I'm going to do is hide this one, hide this one. Okay. Okay, so now that I have it, I'm going to delete all this other. Okay, so just name it appropriately. So this one maybe G yellow, G red, G green, G matte, G cyan, and then G blue. Okay, so we're going to export this. Alright, export. Okay, since I already have the folder, second, just going to create a new folder. Okay, I'm going to create it inside here. Okay, done with that. So now we need to export the rest. So for our wheel, I'm going to load my gondola, export this as single asset. Okay, export it, call it wheel. Make sure it's in PNG format. Okay.